Hello, welcome to the Modern Mind presentation. This is a presentation for those interested in building stress resilience in their staff or for their team. Today's business world has been rocked by the current world events, and it's imperative that we are in a state of personal transformation that matches the transformations that are being asked of us in our, hopefully, responsive and adaptable businesses. Today, we'll talk a little bit about how mindfulness practice can transform the world of business and is already doing so for many successful companies, sports teams, and different types of teams around the world. I'm Jenna Allen. I have been a practitioner of mindfulness since about 2016 or so. I'm currently a doctorate student, getting my PhD in psychology. I have my bachelor's there. I'm certified in trauma recovery, domestic violence advocacy, and I've worked as a trauma educator for professionals and have been doing life coaching since about 2010 or so. I work with individuals, businesses, corporations, and communities to provide mindfulness instruction as well as one-on-one work also. We spend gazillions of dollars to upgrade our technology every few years, but we're not so good at giving that same type of attention to ourselves and our employees. The mind needs upgrades just like our tech does, because then we're just running on old programming, and those processes in business will continue to upgrade and our minds just won't be able to keep up unless we come out of the analog world into the digital age inside the mind, right? Analog signals are sensitive to pressure and noise, just as a vinyl record or magnetic tape, if some of you know what a cassette is, degrades over time, right? Vinyl degrades over time. Magnetic tape degrades over time. These are analog methods or modalities, right? Making it impossible to fully recover that original signal once it's degraded. And analog signals, so we can think of those as degrading in their journey, right? Basically. In the digital world, though, things proliferate. They go viral. They extrapolate and reconfigure. The digital age is not degrading over time, and our minds have to be able to keep up with those increasing speeds and demands, right? So we can think of analog in the mind as autopilot and digital as upgrading for better responsiveness and adaptability, right? That's why we upgrade our tech, more responsiveness, more adaptability, right? And we can achieve this through mindfulness practice, right? So we're constantly upgrading that technology to keep up with the evolving world, and transformation of the mind requires the same adaptability and responsiveness that we require of our tech. So why is autopilot so bad? Not good, right? So doing life on autopilot will decrease our responsiveness to each unique situation that we find ourselves in, and we'll find that we blunder and we make more mistakes than we do when we're mindfully engaged. And a quick note here, upgrading the mind will often feel like a downgrade at first, because we always have to strip things down and get back to the basics when we're doing a reboot, right? We can't clean out the closet without taking out a lot or all of the stuff that's inside, right? I don't know about programming much in the digital world, but I assume it's somewhat similar. So we are going to do a quick exercise now for taking out the trash from the closet of our mind, right? When we take out the trash that's found in the recesses of the subconscious mind, this enables us to see what programs are running in the background, right? And shift things a little bit. So this practice is just to help bring us into our body, into the present moment. It's not a long exercise, just about 2-3 minutes. So finding a comfortable posture. If both feet on the floor is available to you, then go ahead and do that, and allowing the eyes to gently close if that feels okay, or lowering the gaze if that's better for you. And then bringing attention into the areas of contact that your feet are having with the floor or whatever they're touching, just feeling into the feet. Noticing the solidity of the ground underneath your feet, maybe feeling where your shoes are in contact with your feet. And now moving on to the thighs and the buttocks and noticing where they have contact with the chair. Just allowing the ground and the chair to hold and support your body without you needing to do anything. It's kind of nice to just tune in to the support that's always there, but we don't notice much. And now moving the attention to the hands, feeling into the hands, maybe noticing the position of the hands or what your hands are touching. And you can ask yourself, how do I know I have hands without looking? We just know, right? We can feel the hands from within. And now opening the awareness and feeling your entire body, sitting here in this chair. And for the last few moments of our short meditation, bringing the attention to the breath. Noticing, not deepening the breath or elongating the breath, just noticing. Noticing, what does the air feel like as it moves in and out of my body naturally without me having to change it or control it? Control and force enough in the world. We want to just observe here. Do you feel the breath the most at the nostrils where the air comes in? Or at the back of the throat when the air comes out, or in the chest, or maybe the belly? And then using one of those places as an anchor for your attention. This is where you come back to over and over whenever the mind is wandering off. Just letting the breath breathe itself. No need to make it any other way than it wants to be. And when you notice your attention has wandered off somewhere else, gently bringing it back to the breath. And noticing when the mind gets distracted, are there judgments? Are you judging what you should be doing? And with some kind awareness instead, just bringing the awareness back to the breath, even celebrating the moment, like, oh, yay, I've caught myself thinking, now I can choose to focus back on the breath. And then taking one final deep audible breath in and out, and opening your eyes. Just tune in for a moment to how it feels to focus in this way. How your mind and the body feel compared to before. We work with mindfulness to strengthen our attention muscle. And when the muscle of focus is strong, then we don't get so overwhelmed. We conserve our resources and our brain power for where it's needed. And then our actions are more intuitive and solutions just seem to present themselves in the mind because we have taken the time to make space for them, right? As we watch our mind, we can see there's a lot going on, so many programs, right? And we programs in the forefront, programs in the background, right? That's not much different than when your computer freezes because you've got too much running or you have to like delete the cache or the cookies or whatever, right? I've worked with a number of people in the business sector, one from Coca-Cola, who ran themselves into the ground because of their refusal to ground. And I've seen it over and over again. If humans continue to choose to stay in the clouds all day, lost in thought, demanding so much of our mind, and I only say clouds, it might be serious. I only say clouds because it's an air quality. The thought is an air type of quality. So staying lost in thought and contemplating and thinking about things, demanding so much of the mind, eventually, if we don't bring ourselves back to grounded, we'll be brought back to grounded, and it just won't be of our own choice or our own volition. And we'll have to experience mental breakdown or physical breakdown, because that's what will be required to assess the system. And sometimes the system at that point is recoverable, and other times it's not, right? The woman who from Coca-Cola has taken years to just be average again, much less the above average corporate rock star that she was, right? So our minds are like our tech. If we let the system failures pile up without doing much about them, we'll be forced to eventually, and we won't like it very much. It won't be something that we've chosen to do. So we need to learn how to make these choices for ourselves. And so what's the science behind something like this? Just sitting with my thoughts and watching them seems pretty weak, Jenna. It seems pretty not business-minded, Jenna. It's been proven that because a concrete set of skills and behaviors are associated with resiliency, people can learn to be more resilient. And the factors that lead to resilience have been scientifically proven to include optimism, the ability to stay balanced, the ability to manage strong and difficult emotions, a sense of safety, and a strong social support system. Yet in a global survey, 57% of respondents said that their organizations are weak at when it comes to helping leaders manage difficult schedules and helping employees manage information flow. And that there's an urgent need to address this challenge. The scope, the scale, the speed of business is increasing at an accelerated rate. And now add in the stress of a global crisis and the need to be hyper-connected and responsive to work anytime, anywhere. That's all extremely taxing. And stress and burnout are related to this increasing pace and intensity of work and adjusting to the new lifestyles required of us. So eustress, EU stress, is a good type of stress. This is when we face a challenge. And when we're not challenged, we just get bored and we get apathetic and we don't like our life or our job or whatever that is. But when that stress doesn't take that natural bell curve of up and down and remains constant in that up space, right? Then burnout, chronic illness, and the unhealthy effects of stress start to manifest themselves. Remember, that's because it's our mind attempting to ground us back into our body, right? And so crossing that line from eustress, which is good stress, to chronic stress can be avoided with the development of mental strategies that cultivate resilience and and cultivating the ability to stay motivated in the face of chronic negative stress and the constant increasing demands and complexity and change of our world, right? Statistically significant improvements in resilience show us that mindfulness tools and content practiced at work and delivered to company teams facilitate job performance, decreasing employee stress. They improve resiliency and work engagement, and overall enhance employee well-being and organizational performance. Isn't it exciting that there's answers out there for the things we've been seeking, right? Mindfulness isn't just about taking a break from the constant working of the brain. It's a way of relating to others. It's a way of talking and interacting. Sales are better. Teams are more collaborative and productive. Individuals and teams improve their improve their management of time and efficiency. This is why in 1989, National Basketball Association coach Phil Jackson introduced mindfulness to the Chicago Bulls. In America, basketball is a huge professional sport, And despite suspicion among players, including superstar Michael Jordan, Jackson insisted on using mindfulness to help with team building, to buffer against tensions between team members, and ultimately unite team members. And the Chicago Bulls went on from there to win 6 straight championships. Then later, when Jackson moved over to the Los Angeles Lakers, they won 5 straight championships under Jackson's methods, right? So since then, mindfulness in teams have gone beyond just the sports domain. Organizations as varied as Google, Aetna, LinkedIn, and Ford, they've all used mindfulness to achieve more productive teams, right? Mindfulness provides research-based strategies for building resilience to stress, fortifying our well-being in the face of challenges, and stopping burnout. So how do we apply all that we've learned here, right? Exploring through mindfulness the biological and psychological impact of stress happening within us helps us to distinguish between harmful and helpful forms of stress at work. And the tools that are given in mindfulness provide strategies for handling stress in healthy and productive ways, in turn stopping burnout in its tracks, right? So team building, sales, time management, overall efficiency, they improve when we relate to others in a whole new way. And that's a benefit to gaining an entirely new perspective of stress and how to manage it effectively, which is what we get out of developing mindfulness practices. Okay, so how do we apply what we've learned here? So in integrating the strategy that we just learned, that grounding meditation, that took us 2 or 3 minutes, but that already created in just that 2 or 3 minutes, we created a new sense of presence, a getting out of the mind and into the body, a grounding meditation. And really, that only took us a couple minutes. You could do that in 30 seconds. You can do it in 1 minute. You can do it in 5 minutes, right? And so the times to do this are key transition times in your day when you know you're going to be transitioning from one thing to the next, right? A call to a meeting or call to another call. Or, before you come back from your lunch break or after you've had difficult conversation with someone. Things like that, times like that are the good times to use this. And we are not trying to clear the mind. We're just trying to notice. Just notice the sensations of the moment. Just notice the distracting thoughts and feelings and things that are going on and focus on the breath. That's all. That's all we're doing here. In the training for your staff, we would go over next steps. We would talk about labeling thoughts and identifying what kinds of thoughts are creating stress and the stories and narratives that we tell ourselves that are creating the stress so that we can stop creating stress where there isn't really any, right? Or where there's only eustress and good challenges. So it is of interest to you to have your management staff and your team members in the frame of mind where they're not viewing their challenges as stress. So that's that next level or next tier. But this application for you is just right where you're at. Take a moment and just grounding into the body right now. That's where we start out with mindfulness. And I'll give you a little bonus exercise here today too. This exercise is called the 3 Ps. It was adapted at the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine, where students were opening doors all day long, going from patient room to patient room, and they were using the doorknob as their anchor or trigger for the 3 Ps, this exercise. This is an informal mindfulness practice that you can just do out and about during your day. It's called the 3 Ps again, and it requires us to choose an anchor for our practice, like grabbing the phone, grabbing our water bottle, a doorknob, and whatever it is that you choose as your anchor, and taking 1 breath's length. So that's a breath in and out. 1 breath's length to do these 3 things. Pause. Taking a moment for yourself, even just a single breath. Let go of the planning mind and the task orientation of the day and simply notice the moment, right? The second P is present. Be present. Be aware of what's happening in this moment by experiencing fully the sensations that are happening in your body. Am I clenching my teeth as I'm talking to this person? Am I hunched over my shoulders, right? Noticing the thoughts that are going on in the mind and feeling the emotions just as they are without trying to change anything. Right? And then the third P is to proceed. You'll be able now to proceed responding compassionately to whatever needs your attention, responding in alignment now with the values of yourself, your company, whatever it is, right? And so think about what your anchor might be. Maybe put some sticky notes around for yourself and remind yourself to do the 3 Ps. Pause, be present, and proceed. And that presence is body, thoughts, emotions. Okay? All right, we just got a couple more slides here. I'm going to skip over that worksheet slide. I typically give worksheets in my presentations, and people can fill them out as they go along, and then they'll have a takeaway with them. So a unique feature of this type of program is the creation of a holistic team member, right? Office performance matters, obviously, but off the field is also important to employers. A company's goal should be to offer as much support to job holders as possible in a variety of areas to help create this holistic team member by promoting mental, emotional, and physical well-being in our team members, right? That's especially important in high-pressure environments where employees are required to perform on sometimes a global level and make decisions that impact large amount of people, plus managing the daily stresses and struggles of life, right? And so just like performance, the mental side is individual. Every team player has different needs. Some struggle to sleep after work because their adrenaline is still pumping. Others want help dealing with the stress of chronic pain issues. And others want to improve their ability to stay calm and focused. And this holistic approach gives us long-term benefits of knowing how to deal with the unexpected, how to stay calm, concentrated, and focused, and how to deal with stress. Those aren't just team performance skills, those are life skills, right? And as an engagement specialist, a team engagement specialist, what I do is prepare professionals for the office and for life outside the office, right? So think of me as that team engagement specialist, like on a sports team, right? My mission is to equip team members with the strategies to succeed on and off the field, in and out of the office, to build the resiliency strategies throughout their life and build that ability to take a step back, to pause and relax, right? If we do have to modernize our mind like we modernize our tech. And the Modern Mind program for your business can help achieve that. I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation as I have. Feel free to reach out to me at any of these contact modes. And if you're interested in a few free mindfulness sessions for yourself or your team, I'd love to set that up. So reach out anytime. Thank you.